we also had a youth intake. We get to show it live this time. Yeah, it definitely happened.
Into the black hole. Sing for my soul.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sunshine on Leyth. I hope you're still enjoying it. Drop a like if you are, that would be superb. So today, we're away at Doncaster, which is a good start, really. 22nd in the league. You'd think, given how well we played against Pompey, this should be one of those games we can go out there and win. It's another 3 points on the board. Still don't know where this game in hand is going to get played. At some point, I would assume. Blackhaven plays Southend today and Middlesbrough away at Mansfield. So Middlesbrough have really got the tough tie. And with the way things are, let's just look at the match previous, we can see the league table. If us and Blackhaven both won today, Middlesbrough could start to find themselves in a bit of a perilous position because they could potentially be not only behind us, but still have that game in hand looming over their head for us too. So it's a difficult one, and Middlesbrough will want to make sure they win it. Jesus, didn't realise how good Neil Cross's attributes actually were. Had in my head that he was doing some plucky overachieving like CT, and he's got 14 all over the shop. Yes, he does. Like, he's legitimately an excellent footballer. He's had a little tiny downturn over the last sort of month maybe, but he's still scored a few goals in there as well. Like, he's got great finishing and first touch, but I think the key for me is obviously he's got good finishing, but his composure is excellent, as is his off the ball, so he makes good runs. He's just a terrific advanced forward, frankly. Still only 20. I think he will get Irish caps one day. And I want to keep this guy. I want to keep this guy and take this guy with us. Honestly, if we could sign Fran Sullivan for next season, I'm happy to go to the Championship if we do go up with a Sullivan and Cross pairing, see what these lads can do in that division, because I think they've got something for it. There's definitely other areas of the team we'd need to strengthen for sure, but I don't think striker is one of them. He's a very, very good striker. If he was just a tiny bit quicker, he might have something extra for us, but he's so good at just scoring goals that it kind of just doesn't matter. Off the ball over anything else, I've had players with sub-10 finishing and composure banging goals because they were making the good runs. And I think this is a good point. We were talking about whether it's finishing or composure, but we totally ignored off the ball. And I really do want to do some kind of experiment at some point. I know it's not really my thing, but I want to try and find a way to work out if there actually is a genuine difference between how many goals a player would score with good finishing versus good composure or off the ball, i.e. like have a player that's got like 10 on the other two and 20 on the other, and see what one has the most difference to that player's career using like PPG, like goals per game. Or like goals per 90 minutes as a kind of record to try and figure that out. And I wouldn't just do it like one, I would do like loads and loads of simulations to see if I could work something like that out. That might be something I'd be tempted to try, actually. So, Thornley's suspended. Thankfully, we don't get a lot of suspensions anymore, which is nice. I hate the fact that when you have that one turnover, it even removes people from the starting 11 now. It didn't used to do that before. So Catley's going to have to come in, which isn't ideal, I grant you. But on the plus side, Dave Morton can come back in, which means Michael Lee will come on the bench into that spot there too. Honestly, like when it comes to Michael Lee or Dave Morton, it's really a tough decision at the moment because Michael Lee has done all right. It's nice that we've got links built up around most of these positions now, except for obviously this one because of Catley. Unlike Doncaster, who apparently have just all their players just absolutely hate each other, it would seem. Literally everyone except their strikers are just like, no. I guess they're trying to go for the opposites attract type of approach. We've even got John Jones in there. He's a fighter. 2 to 7 aggression. Something seems off there. Now, the last thing we want is for this to sort of be like after the Lord Mayor's show kind of situation where we played brilliantly against Portsmouth. We created, 12 chances in that game? Still only scored twice, but hopefully, maybe today will be the opposite of that, where we perhaps don't create so many chances, but we'll get the goals instead. That's the hope anyway. Hopefully Crossy and Sullivan can do a job for us today. Sullivan really did carry us through that Pompey game. But again, it's a case of watching the other matches, doing our part, and seeing where we go from here. And this is a much easier game in theory than Portsmouth. Morton's in, it's a very tight angle, and he's drilled it to the side netting. I argue Doncaster have probably been the better side here, and we cannot really oh, wow, you mugs. And yeah, played so well against Portsmouth, a much better side, playing a very similar shape. Now, obviously, 4-4-2, not all 4-4-2s are created equal, but that is just embarrassing. Like, how are you letting... There's 3 of you here. 3 of you. Are you defenders? But so far, no reason to suggest that they won't win this. Right, we've got to turn something on. Idris. That's better. Dave Morton. Can he square it? He does, and it's cleared away, but there's no runners, unfortunately. Oh, Idris. Go on. Just have a pop. Or just lose the ball entirely. Either is fine. You do you, bud. Oh, dear. Okay. It's going to be one of those. Unfortunately, it does not seem that... There's a bit of an angry sip there. I mean, what are you doing? Just pass the ball, shoot the ball... I don't know, pop the fucking ball for all I care. Just do something with it, except for give it away, as Hunter puts it in to make it 2-0 to a team in the relegation zone. Well, we've got to try and do something here, because this has been horrendous. They are very much dominating this left-hand side of the pitch, particularly. That's where they seem to be playing all of their dangerous passes. Why would you head it there? Catley really is the worst. Like, I swear, every time he plays, he just puts in the worst possible performances. Sullivan now. Can he find Neil Cross? He's been fouled. We've got a penalty. Right, a chance to get back into the game before half-time. I mean, to be fair, we've done well from penalties this season. I think we've only missed one, maybe? Maybe, not sure. Neil Cross with a chance to make it 28 league goals this season. And to be fair, missing this would basically... Oh, he's got it. Okay, so Doncaster 2, Whitport 1. Right before half-time, his 33rd goal of the season for Neil Cross, 28 of which have been in the league. He's only really scored penalties a little bit lately, but we do need to see a bit more out of him. Well, it's better than nothing, but we are still down a goal, and we need 2 second-half goals here. Thankfully, Middlesbrough not winning. Blackhaven are, as you'd expect. Hopefully the things we've made from a defensive standpoint are actually going to at least limit them a little bit and allow us a bit more of the football in the second half to try to do our thing. But I'm not confident in it. But a goal back here would be nice. Sullivan. It's knocked down for Birch McNaught. I don't know what that was, but Dave Morton has now equalised for us. Wow. Doncaster 2, Whitport 2. I think the changes we made did actually have an effect. I don't know if that was from an attacking perspective or not, but it certainly allowed them less of a threat going forward, and we've actually scored from an indirect free kick, would you believe? Birch McNaught knocks it down. Lovely touch inside for Dave Morton. 3rd goal of the season for him there, and we've come from 2 goals down here to find ourselves an equaliser. We need more. At least as things stand, we wouldn't lose ground to Middlesbrough. But it seems... I mean, hey, they've done nothing in the second period, and we've done a lot. Well, we've certainly done stuff. So we're not out of the woods yet. They could still score, but then so could we. I'm bringing on Kyle Lee because we've had another little bit of a problem here with Jed Vernon ball and Neil Cross. Can he spin? Oh, good strike. Good work. Good goalkeeping. If we turn this around, that would be a huge statement. Cross. Oh, he couldn't quite get there. Now he has. Neil, it's a very tight angle for Neil Cross, though, and he saved again. It's been plain to see. Like, second half has been all Whitport. We got the early equaliser 2 to really set ourselves up. The chances have been there. We just haven't taken them. Because defensively, they've had Doncaster have had nothing for us in the second period. Oh, it's a foul by Gilby as well. That could be a red, because I don't know why we'd be seeing it otherwise. Yep, it is. Right, okay. Lee needs to be pushing harder out to that, but he doesn't quite get there. But he could still press them now. And, oh, we got it. Morton. It's not the best ball out, but it doesn't matter, because Morton's got it. It's 3-on-2, sort of. He's got to square this. And Cross, it's a terrible pass for Neil Cross. Oh... And it's looking very likely that we're not going to get the win in the end anyway. If anything, they've got better since they went down to 10 men. Such is life. Unless we get a late one here. Come on. We still have a chance to go above Middlesbrough thanks to salvaging the draw here, though. Sullivan's ball. Knight! Oh. We've not been good enough. Overall, done well. But that first sort of 20 minutes of the game, I'm not sure exactly what substance they were on. Because it certainly wasn't oxygen, that's for sure. We really let ourselves down with that first half an hour, frankly. Until we figured out them... we figured out what they were doing in attacking and completely stopped them. But we just, I mean, when we scored the equaliser in 51 minutes, I just thought that was it, we're in. But we weren't. We can still overtake Middlesbrough with that game in hand, though. That's the key thing here. And can still push ourselves to within 2 points of Blackhaven. So I guess there's that, but oh god, it gets tight in the top. Right, some games off camera, not very many. I'm back for some more in a minute. Right, guys, we're back. And oh boy, were we back indeed. This is a big old victory. One of our best performances in a long, long time. Morton early doors whips the ball to the back post. There is Birch McNaught. He had a terrific game in this one. And just moments later, Fran Sullivan picks the ball up in his own half, just drives at the defence, drops it around the side for Dave Morton, and Dave Morton just does Dave Morton things. Slots us home, 2-0, early doors, good stuff. Gillingham weren't bad at that point. In fact, so much so that they got a goal back in the 33rd minute and probably deserved it as well. I was a little bit concerned at that point, but let's face it, I needn't have been. Because just before half-time, Dave Morton passes it back to Kyle Lee. I put Idris out today to have a little rest. Birch McNaught out wide, whips it across, and there was Neil Cross to score another goal, 3-1 before half-time. I thought, okay, comfortable. And we picked up straight where we left off at the start of the second half, quite frankly. McCoy with the ball this time, outside to Russell Nevitt. Gets a little bit of luck with the deflection off the defender, and there was Neil Cross to make it 4-1, wrapping up another really solid victory for us. But we would just simply not let them die. 56th minute, Birch McNaught driving down the outside here, just keeps on going and going and going until he's just... I mean, the keeper just gives him an open spot and he's put it in for 5-1. And then in the 60th minute, it actually got worse as we made it 6-1 after an hour. This was just bad. Defending, cleared off, Sullivan smashes it straight at Mason and it goes in for 6-1. I made some changes and we kind of gave him a bit of a rest at that point. But what a performance. And Kyle Lee got a 9 in this game. The guy's got something. We then follow that up with an incredible game away at Burton Albion. 3 minutes of the match, Sullivan gets the ball, just drives and drives and drives, and one of his little textbook low finishes into the side netting gave us the lead here at what I assume is still the Pirelli, maybe not. But it didn't last long though, as on 10 minutes, Cross gets the ball out wide here for Burton Albion, and well, I mean, there's no two ways about it. Ball was played behind for Ryan Cassidy, and simple finish for him, 1-1. But then at the start of the second half, we managed to get ourselves back in front again. Kyle Lee whipping a lovely ball out for Birch McNaught. They just left him completely unmarked. Ball in. Curtis Thomas, who was playing in place of Neil Cross initially, came off Yeah, they scored the goal, basically. But then they had a player called Latty Fairweather. What a phenomenal name. But they were able to get another goal back. Ball whipped out to the far post. Lovely finish from Cross, smashing it home for 2-2. But then Neil Cross, who'd had to come on for an injured Sullivan, whipped the ball across. And there was Curtis Thomas, a brace for CT here to give us the win. What a man. And all of that now leaves us second. We're ahead of Middlesbrough now by 2 points and now have a game in hand. Middlesbrough are struggling. They are literally limping over the line. And we also had a youth intake. We get to show you it live this time. Yeah, it definitely happened. That's about all we can really say. A Hungarian, though, called Nathan Hall is there, so that's kind of nice. We've also got Kane Murray, who's from Guyana, who's temperamental. He doesn't like the fact that he's from Guyana, but he is. And lastly, the best one of the bunch, really, is Tom Morgan, who, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wide target man, apparently. 5'9", good. With 6 jumping reach. Sounds like a wide target man if ever I've heard. Also, we got this wonderful graphic pop up, and you might notice something about this. Middlesbrough have possibly the toughest run-in imaginable. They have to play 6th place, 5th place, and 8th place in their final 3 matches. Whereas we in Blackhaven, yeah, we got a slightly couple of tough games, but we've also got Wimbledon and Accrington Stanley in there. As Blackhaven, yeah, they host QPR, but then the rest of them, it's 13th, 14th, and 16th. I think this is ours. This is a Leyth automatic promotion party, really. It has to be. But thankfully, we only need a draw to get that 3-point gap to Borough, and that's the gorgeous thing. But it could be 5, and that would be hilarious. So, some selection advice would be nice right about now. Sullivan and Cross back in just barely. We absolutely had to rest Neil Cross for the game against Burton, although it didn't actually work out that way because, Sullivan was injured, so Cross came on, and then obviously CT went into his spot, and to be fair, Curtis Thomas scored a brace in that game, won us the match. Whoa, assistant nearly put Catley in instead of Thornley. That would be dreadful. I honestly think anything except a defeat puts us in prime position for automatics. With the money Blackhaven have spent, they would be an absolute failure if they didn't win the league right now, whereas we haven't really spent that much at all. But it's still been a really fun title battle, though. Between these 3 teams, to really be in this for the entire season, it's one of the most exciting battles I've been in years. Legitimately, it's great. Every game feels important. Every game feels like it means something, and that could all still, we could still screw this up today. Sullivan's through, and it's just the amount of times he has done that literally at the exact same time as Keenan Davis scores. I mean, Sullivan now scores his 19th goal of the year. He needs one more goal this season to hit 20 goals and 20 assists in all competitions. What a god. It's so easy for him. This position is his bread and butter. Those little shots across the goalkeeper from that position have been almost guaranteed goals for him over the last month. It's the perfect start to the game. Both us and Blackhaven are winning. Sullivan's through again, and he's nearly, that's another chance. A bit more composure, maybe. That's terrible defending from us. We've got to get back and cover this. Make sure they don't get those balls to the edge of the box. Get enough players back to make that make sense. Wallbanks, get out to him. It's a good ball through, and it's a good header, but over the crossbar. Idris is getting really pressed in. Where was the other fullback, the other defensive midfielder? Nevitt's come brilliantly there to go round 1. May have to shoot here. Russell Nevitt, and it's just gone past the post. Sullivan, lovely flick off for Neil Cross. He's through again, and it's nearly a chance again, and Cross is just, and Blackhaven now 2-0 up through Shane Hunt. Once again, we've been really good, but we need to make sure that we get that second goal, and soon. Sullivan just tries to bend one in. Well, I don't know how we are more than 1 goal up, but it's very similar to that Pompey game. We just need to keep on pushing. Wow, that's a good ball. Dear. Is it? I think it's worth an angry sip. I would say today's angry sip is some orange juice in a Magners glass, but alas, I'm out, so it's going to have to be standard old water for us today, friends. Yeah, I don't know. Dominate the match. Let's go with the first shot on target after 48 minutes. You could have written it, couldn't you? And you did. Morton flicks it down for Neil Cross. Back for Dave Morton. Oh, it's a bit too tight, but he could pull it across. He couldn't quite find him. Nice idea, though. Could still get it back here. And, well, there we go. Fran Sullivan has now hit 20 in both categories. Dave Morton with the assist. Terrible defending from Sheffield Wednesday cost them this time. And that's it. 20 goals and 20 assists in the same season for Franz Sullivan. I genuinely cannot think of a time I've ever had a player reach 20 in both. Just horrendous defending here. Morton whips it across. I don't know how he's not offside, but he's not. And it's a simple finish, and it's 2-1. Clattered clear. Cross is never going to be able to win that, but he's going to come to the second ball. Idris. Oh, look at the space through for Sullivan. That's surely going to be too tight for him. He's got it again, and what a chance. Hits the inside of the post. Tons more room for Sullivan. Whips that across. Beautiful cross. Just nobody get on the end of it. Thornley. Johnson with the run beyond. And there's Neil Cross. He gets there. It's 3-1, 36th goal of the season, and he's just flying. He's probably not going to reach 40 unless he has an incredible final episode this season. I mean, he'd have to score like an average of 4 in his next 3 for that. But again, Ben Johnson getting in there. So easy. Just wafts that back across, and Crossy makes it 3-1. Good stuff. I want to finish this season in style now that we really do seem to have clicked. Cross. Sullivan. Oh, can he put the ball back through? He does. And Neil crosses through again. That is so good. That rolls back the years to the Curtis Thomas, Jacob Wakeling days, or even in the Ben Mills days. Just because they're going to be lacking players for the final 3 matches. Sullivan with the flick on. Cross again. Back for Sullivan. Oh, what a goal that would have been. The partnership between those two has just become unstoppable in places. And stuff like that. I wish there was goals on the end of those because they deserve them, to be fair. Good block. And that'll do it. Whitport 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And now we are unequivocally 5 points above Middlesbrough. No need for games in hand. 3 games to go. We need 4 points from those 3 games. A win and a draw will see us go to the Championship. Now, I still have my eyes set, though, on tracking down Blackhaven. We got the goal difference advantage on them. You never know what could happen. It's going to be a hell of an episode. So we really have hit a little bit of a stride again now, smashing goals in. We've scored 2 or more in the last 5 matches and not looking too bad defensively either. So, final episode of the season. Mansfield, Wimbledon, Stanley. Mansfield's going to be difficult. The others need to be wins. I still think there's a chance of us catching Black. I mean, we could still get caught by Middlesbrough. They'd have to pull up some absolute trees in that final game, though. I think it's unlikely. I think we've really done the hard work now. That win against Middlesbrough, I think it was. Where was it? This one. The 3-0 victory against them at Castle Park was absolutely massive when that came. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, drop a like. That's just terrific. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be awesome as well. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and usually Saturdays, so go follow there too. Stream a showdown this week. It's going to be sick. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the the pinnacle of this season as we battle Blackhaven. A 3-game shootout to win the title, hopefully. It could all still go terribly wrong, I suppose, but I don't think it will. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara.